All right, YouTube, this Detroit's HPTV coming to you out of Detroit, back with another video. We at downtown Detroit in the Renaissance building in the General Motors section. And we got to talk about Juneteenth. Juneteenth, was it a symbolic gesture to undermine reparations? Because how could the same Democrats that fought to uphold slavery, that fought to keep you in bondage, succeeded from the Union, created Jim Crow, the Ku Klux Klan, and redlining, offer you a symbolic holiday? See, they have Columbus Day for the Italians, St. Patrick's Day for the Irish, and then they give you Juneteenth. So they give you symbolic equality, but not economic equality. No power. So you are actually celebrating a day that your oppressor gave you after enslaving you, fighting to keep you in bondage, and now he say you can celebrate? Now, I'm not knocking it. Nothing wrong with having a day off. But shouldn't we want more? Because to me, Juneteenth is an admission that our people were violated, enslaved, abused, and battered. But they will give you a holiday, a symbolic holiday, without reparations. And then your leaders like Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson and the rest of them, they out there celebrating Juneteenth in African garb with the same Africans that sold you into slavery. It's almost a mockery to say that Juneteenth is something that should be celebrated by African Americans when there's no reparations. To admit that you were enslaved and wronged, but still deny you reparations, still deny you equality, still deny you power. Now, I know some of you are going to be mad because you like the symbolism of having your own day. But symbolism is nothing without power. Most people or most cultures have power behind their symbols. Your symbol is just what? You're going to barbecue. You get a day off, which is good. But think about it. Jim Crow Joe Biden and his administration, the same Joe Biden that created the '94 crime bill, that said that you were super predators, that said that you would turn public schools into a racial jungle and you must be brought to heel, gave you a holiday called Juneteenth in the middle of Pride Month, but still deny you reparations, still deny you equality. What do you think about that when you really think about it? Juneteenth was because there were slaves on plantations in Texas who had been freed that wouldn't leave the plantation. They had been free. The emancipation had been passed. The Civil War had been fought. But you had blacks still enslaved that wouldn't leave the plantation, wouldn't fight their masters. They stayed until they were forced to leave slavery. And it seems like some of you are still going to have to be forced off that democratic plantation, that plantation of liberalism that gives you symbolism without power. What's a Juneteenth day? What's a holiday without power, without no meaning? You go right back to work, to your bosses, to your oppression, still worried and scared to death about what Donald Trump is going to do, what Elon Musk is going to do. It seems like you're still slaves. You still work for the same people. You still worship the same people. So what does Juneteenth really mean to you? Don't get mad at the messenger, because everything I'm saying is a fact. There were slaves still on a plantation in Texas after the Civil War had been fought, after the Emancipation Proclamation, and they had to come and make you leave and make them let you go, and you celebrate it. Tell me what's good about celebrating your oppression, celebrating slavery, especially when the holiday is given to you by the same Democrats, the same Dixiecrats that fought to keep you in bondage, that made an Emancipation Proclamation in the Civil War necessary. It's kind of hypocritical, don't you think, that these hypocrites will acknowledge the wrong but still deny you reparations? Maybe this whole holiday was to undercut reparations so that you would think that they gave you something. Remember what Malcolm X said, these liberals only pretend to be your friend, but ask them for something. When this election cycle comes for the mayor of Detroit, and you start thinking about who you want to vote for, probably you should think about what you're going to ask for. What are you going to demand? And please don't demand another holiday. Demand something tangible that your communities can use. Think about this. And this is Detroit's HPTV. Sounding to you out of Detroit in the Detroit Renaissance. Like, share, and subscribe. Support the channel. Peace. And salute to all patriots.